Hi, my name is Amy, and I am currently a classical cellist studying at the Heifetz International Music Institute. I kind of wanted to make this video just to document everyone's thoughts here about music because I've met some amazing people here, and I think the reason I started loving music is because I met so many amazing people. I think hearing their thoughts on why they love music and why they play their instrument just really gave me a whole new love for playing the cello. So I hope this video can maybe give you some new ideas on how to love music. Thank you.
My most impactful musical experience was spending a summer at the Meadowmount School of Music as a 14-year-old. It was my first time being surrounded by such high-level musicians, and it had such a huge effect on me, and it connected me to a lot of other musicians my age. I finally felt like I had a deep connection to music after that, and it inspired me to go more into music and shape my future around music.
So my most impactful musical experience probably goes back to when I was 14 years old, and I was just a freshman in high school, and I had went to a master class by a principal flute of the Seattle Symphony Orchestra. His name is Damari McGill, and I play flute, classical flute, and it was my first time seeing a African American male perform flute, classical flute at such a high caliber that I had seen on YouTube videos because I had used to watch Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra people playing, and I never saw anybody that looked like me. And so coming into contact and talking with and just really being around a person that looked like me but also play at a high caliber really motivated me and inspired me to really pursue music. So I would say that's been my most impactful musical experience because it really gave me the drive, the motivation, and determination to go for this path in music.
My first time being around other serious classical musicians was a life-changing experience. I'd enjoyed playing music before, but seeing how passionate people could be about it ignited something in me. It made me realize that the reason I play music is for other people. I love the connections it's brought me, and I love being able to play music and share emotions with an audience.
I think my most impactful music experience has been just getting to share the stage with all of the people that I care about so much. And also, I think music has impacted my life in so many different ways, especially with my identity, because I've been exposed to the music world for so long. I feel that the people in music have really um, have made a profound impact on not just my musical life, but also my personal life and the way I hold myself. And I think that that impact has been the most profound on my life, in my opinion.
Last summer at the Greenwood Music Camp, I was given the opportunity to play first violin for the fourth movement of the Mendelssohn Octet. I first heard the Moctet, also at Greenwood by some counselors, and I remember thinking that it was so cool. It felt so powerful and like a work of collaboration between a community. Now, I was going to be one of the big kids who would carry on the legacy of the Moctet at Greenwood. I remember standing backstage in a white dress and barefoot, with sweaty palms and almost dropping my nearly worn music. And I remember the last few chords, I looked up to my group and they were all smiling back at me. And it was like now I was a part of that community. Like it was a rite of passage almost into the music world.
When I performed with an orchestra when I was 10, it really impacted me a lot. It was the first time I performed with a big and professional orchestra, and it felt surreal. It made me realize how rare and valuable that was, and made me cherish other small opportunities.
My most vivid musical experiences are right here in the Heifetz Institute. Because I live in Houston, Texas, and not some like more culturally rich place like New York or Philadelphia, I don't have too many chances to connect with such high level musicians. And I believe that here in Stanton, Virginia, I have the ability to connect with numerous extraordinary musicians that I won't come across very often in my hometown.
I went to my first studio class at Juilliard Pre-College and realized how much I needed to work to catch up. It was a very inspiring moment, and it sparked my interest in cello again, hearing such beautiful and passionate music from my peers.
我觉得这个就是我第一次开这个独奏音乐会，我拉了一首 Sibelius Violin Concerto and a Mozart Five Violin Concerto and the Paganini Caprice in the whole concert. It's very interesting.
One of my most powerful musical memories is from Carnegie Hall when I was 9. As one of the earlier stage memories, performing at Carnegie was a surreal and overwhelming moment. I still remember all the nerves, the excitement off stage, and my all-time record of sugar backstage. Every time I feel down and am questioning my music and performing, I always turn back to this memory, remembering my passion for performing and playing music. At Music at Menlo, I was able to experience the utter joy of chamber music and so many long-lasting friendships.
I think my most memorable music experience would be when I was 7, 8 years old. I think that was when I was in primary 1, and my sister, who is 7 years older than me, we both participated in our school's music talent show, and we did a Disney medley arranged by my sister, and it was one of my first few times performing beside a loved one in front of such an enthusiastic crowd. And it was also the first time that I performed non-classical music, so it was really enjoyable. And just getting such great feedback from the audience was really heartwarming, and it just made me love performing even more.
Music has taught me patience and discipline. I learned the hard way that slow, tedious practice with the metronome is the best way to move forward as technicality wise. And there isn't really any other shortcut. And I also believe that music teaches you time management in the sense that you can't practice too much in one day because you need to have time to do everything else, time and effort to do everything else, because studying and exercising and resting are just as important, if not more important, as practicing for musicians like us.
Music has taught me how to be more patient with myself, and I think in most aspects of my life, I would always feel like I couldn't do something immediately, and I would stop doing it because of it or just change it to something else. And I think playing violin isn't something that you can be perfect at when you first start, so it taught me patience, and now I think I have more patience in the rest of my life as well.
Yeah, so question 2, what has music taught you? Music has taught me a lot, but I think the biggest thing that music has taught me is to be very intentional in what I do. And that's in life, because I feel like music is life, and the way we go about life, music is just somebody's experience in their life, or a certain experience that they've done, or something that some person that they've talked to. Music is a conversation, and so being very intentional about what you do in life, that is something that music has taught me, because if you play a phrase just any old way without any context or without any regard for what's around you, then it might not fit. And I think in life, in being intentional in what you do, you don't just go and pull a seat from somebody under just because there's no reason why. It's always what you do in life should be intentional, and everything has a purpose to it. And so intentionality is very important. So I think that music has taught me to be very intentional in my actions.
Music has taught me that there is good in every situation, and that the not-so-great situations will pass. In a piece of music, it's always possible to find comfort within even the most chaotic, incomprehensible passages. Playing those passages remind me that a person has felt that emotion strongly enough to write about it, and that brings me a sense of community.
That something I love doesn't have to be a person.
I think music has taught me a lot of things, how to love, responsibility, patience, and these are all things that I think are applicable to my personal life outside of violin, and I generally think that my peers have had the most impact on how I've been taught, and I feel that with music, it's like a constant learning process that continues to grow exponentially, and I have so much more to learn, so I'm excited for what the future holds for me.
I feel like music just is always so beautiful. It helps us bring back memories or any special moments, and it definitely brings happiness. I just love music and people.
Music has taught me to feel comfortable putting my emotions on display. I used to be very shy and felt embarrassed to show the slightest bit of excitement or sadness. Through music, I've learned to express myself in a healthy manner.
Music has taught me definitely a lot of things, but I think the main thing would be point of view. It has taught me to really open up because I grew up in a culture that's very stereotypical and it's very restricted based on the rules and just the culture that we grew up in. And just the way that I have connected with music really showed me that I could open up to people and that there are many more perspectives to life than just what I was taught and what I grew up in, and that I should just open up and learn more from people because there's really a lot more out there. In my humble opinion, music serves many purposes. In the case of classically trained musician undergoing intensive training, it is essential not to forget the importance of our work. We often forget how beautiful our art form is and just how powerful it can be. From a musician's standpoint, music serves as a means of expressing deep emotion and being something that we dedicate our lives to, in some ways like religion. As far as the overall purpose that music serves, music, specifically classical music, is like a very poetic language served to transcend the deepest human emotions. Classical music is a beautiful thing because it can make different people feel various emotions unique to their own life experiences and has the power to unify people in that sense.
It provides a means for socializing, for getting together with others who share love for what you love.
The purpose of music, in my opinion, is to unite people across the globe, regardless of whatever political chaos there may be. Music, in my opinion, is the only language that can be understood by every single person in the world. And I believe music could team us up as one species because it conveys the same desires and emotions we all experience.
To quote the great Leonard Bernstein, this will be our reply to violence, to make music more intensely, more beautifully, more devotedly than ever before.
To say something about the human experience that cannot be fully conveyed through other mediums, at least not in the same way.
I think the purpose of music is to enhance life and to provide new visions for the world. And I think without music, existence would just be so quiet and boring because our ears need to hear the beauty of music, and music can also make you feel so many different emotions and evoke so many different emotions, and it can change your perspective on the world and I think how you see it too.
I think music helps connect us to the human experience and to each other.
Making money.
I used to think the phrase music connects people and music is a language were random deep sayings. But when I started to appreciate classical music, I actually felt these sayings. Music actually connects people.
Music has no inherent meaning or purpose. As a form of expression, its rationale can be given by any performer, any listener, or any composer.
So, question 4, what is the purpose of music? For me, the purpose of music really is to communicate shared experiences and shared emotions. Sometimes, we can't exactly communicate what it is that we're feeling inside verbally. And I think that music is another avenue for expressing those feelings and emotions that we're trying to say. And I think music crosses through all languages and all barriers, no matter what language you speak, where you're from, what part of the world you're on. I think music has a way of connecting people together, and yes.
One of my favorite answers comes from the composer John Cage. The purpose of music is to bring about an enjoyment of the life we are living.
To teach us about love, responsibility, and to also show us the beauty in the world.
Also, if you're looking for new music recommendations, I've linked a Spotify playlist down below where I have people's recommendations. It's mostly classical music because here everyone is a classical musician, but there are some really fun pieces there. Bye!